I believe only we can give meaning to life. God cannot give meaning to life, or will not give meaning to life. The universe, nature, fate does not, cannot, will not give meaning to life. Life itself doesn't provide meaning. Life just gives us coincidences and accidents and situations. We are delivered over many years of confusion and struggle, a series of events which we cannot evaluate. We don't know which are more important or what led to what or why these things happen. Most of what we do in life is reacting. When we eat, we're reacting to hunger. When we fall in love, we're reacting to hormones. Probably 99% of everything we do is reacting to something. But that other 10%, that other 1%, that's us. When I was a kid and I had romantic notions about finding the meaning in life, I thought life came with a meaning that we had to find, that was inherently a part of life. Now that I've seen a little bit of life, I realize life has no meaning unless you give it meaning. And unless I'm mistaken, that implies that we can give it any meaning we damn well want to. We give life meaning by turning it into a story. We look back and we take the scattered, chaotic confusion of the events of our lives, and we find similarities or connections. Often it's a connection of one event leading to another event or influencing another event, and this event leading to some kind of knowledge or idea or change in our personality. Philosophers and thinkers and religious people will divide life into phases or into a struggle for identity or something like that. But writers soon find that they have to look at life as a progression of three things: wanting something, fighting for it, and the change that comes with that fight. As soon as we want something, and we always want something, we realize that we're going to have to fight to get it, especially if it's valuable. It starts out with a wanting, a desire, a need. When we're babies, when we're infants, when we're come out of the womb, we want the mother's breast. We want warmth, comfort. We want to know what the hell we're doing here. We want to know why everything is so loud and cold and it hurts, and we don't get answers, but we get the mother's breast and the warm trickle of milk that fills our souls and makes us satisfied and comfortable for a few minutes so that we forget our other needs. And we grow and we want food and we want candy and we want attention and we want love and we want, not to hurt and not to fall down. And we want to have our parents be proud of us, and we want to compete with our other brothers and sisters, and we want to have friends and have love, and we want to be the best in school, the most popular, and we want to be cool, and we want to have good grades or bad grades, or we want to escape and go and have adventure, and we want to fall in love, and we want to have the girl that we are in love with love us, and we want to make her happy, and we want to make our children happy. We want to have success, and we want to have luxury or security. In all our lives is wanting, constantly, every day, every minute. We want something. It's strange. We don't get what we want. Some things we get that we want, but those things are usually useless, are usually valueless. We say, Mommy, I want this candy. And so you get the candy, and then you eat it, and you've forgotten it, and it's just calories. But it's when Mom doesn't give you the candy that the candy becomes really important. when she says no candy, then then the candy's a big thing. And then you fight for that candy. And then if you don't get it, it's a defeat and a means something. And if you do get it, then you've conquered mom, just like you would conquer life or fate. If we want something really, if we really want it intensely, we fight for it. And if it's important and if it's valuable, life will not give it to us willingly. Life, I think, is the real enemy. And when I say life, I don't know what that means. Life, it's fate. You know, the Vikings had the word fate. Is it fate? Life, fate? Is life an intelligent being that is trying to hold us back or trying to torture us? Is life God that has created us but refuses to give us what we want? I think life is the ultimate enemy, actually. We're fighting against life for the reward of life. I really think we make a deal with life, each one of us. Early on, we'll face life if life will give us what we want. I know that I made a deal with life when I was young. I said, I hate this life. I just can't stand it. I just don't want to be a part of this. Unless I get what I want. Unless I get what satisfies me. Give me satisfaction, life. Grant me what I want. And then I will continue to live. That's what you want, isn't it? You want me to live, right? Life wants life, right? So I'll do that if you give me what I want. And right there and then, life turned around and promised to give me what I want. And then did not. And every time I tried to renegotiate the deal, life would agree and said, oh, I'll give you what you want someday. Just keep living. And life is a bitch. Life is beautiful. Life is the real enemy. Life is the sun rising every morning. Life is the joy of little things and the happiness of big things. Life is what is toying with us. Life is an adventure of experience that we can't help but go on. Life is suffering, but it's also looking back on suffering and realizing that while you were suffering, while you were in it, you were bigger than life. All your feelings were grand and tragic and melodramatic. And somehow, even though you don't want to go back there, you realize what an important, significant part of your life it was. Life throws struggle and change at us. Life is this incredible freedom that we don't even realize. We never know that we can do anything we want. And when we realize it, it's terrifying. That's the struggle we all have. To find some kind of satisfaction, to wring fulfillment out of life, even though life refuses to give it to us. And as soon as we start fighting, we realize that we're going to have to change ourselves, learn or develop ourselves, improve ourselves in order to win the battle. And when the fight is over and we've won or we've lost, our life has been changed by that fight. That's what meaning is. It's what comes when we struggle through life and become something that we weren't before. The struggle reveals who we are. If we look at life, at all the things we went through to become what we are, then we're sorting life into a story that begins meaningless and ends with meaning. And so we sort these things out. Things, events, series of coincidences and accidents that belong together into this section, section A. Other things that belong together into section B, other things that belong together into section C. And each of those sections we then order within themselves and find within themselves some kind of story. It's a story. This is what a writer does. He learns how to order the chaos of life into a story so it's no longer just confusion and chaos and accident, but something that leads to an outcome that is greater than what was before, that reveals who we were before the struggle and just who that person now is. We're writers of our own lives. We're all storytellers. Struggling makes us into someone else. Struggling makes us into who we are. The struggle, the endless fight, is the gift that life gives us. It's a gift of becoming something that we weren't before. It's the gift of becoming something that is unique, that no one else is. It's the gift of becoming ourselves. So this is how we get meaning out of life. I don't know about you, but I've always felt the need to justify my life. I didn't ask to be here. I didn't ask to be born or conceived. But if I can make something out of it, something new, that means I've chosen what I've become. I think that's why writers write. Turning our lives into stories, and that's the only way we give it meaning. We take some part of our life that has been important, like the search for love. You want, as a young man or as a young woman, love, true love, and you fight for it. And life puts up a fight. Life tries to stop you. Because there's another guy who's better looking or richer. Because deep inside you're an asshole and the girl knows that and you don't know that. Because one summer the girl's family leaves from Hawaii to the mainland and you never see her again. But the fight for love changes you. Because if you want love, you're not going to get it as yourself. You have to be the man or woman who can have love and who can love. You have to first change yourself, and then you will find real love with a person who has also changed his or herself. The act of rising to the challenge of and becoming the person who can meet that challenge, who can win that fight. Because the struggle is always, at least in part, with yourself. That struggle changes you. That's the only meaning life will ever have. We take all the conflict desires of our lives, we take all the battles we fought and lost, and we take all the changes we went through, and we choose those that make sense. We choose those that show that we've made some kind of progress towards some goal that we probably didn't even know we had. If you look back in your life, you can probably find 2, 3, maybe 4 strands of story, things that you can connect together, things that cause each other to change, a wanting that correlates to a fighting that correlates to a changing. Look at those things and ask yourself, what does it mean? The wanting, the fighting, the changing. We're always writing to give life meaning. Good night.